is. Thank you guys for coming. This is our Influencer Insight panel. Yeah, we're just going to talk a bit about like the past, 2017, the future, 2018, and some of the branding trends that are going to be happening. So yeah, let's give a quick intro.
Cool. I'll borrow this then. Hello, my name's Turps, or Mark. I'm from the Yogscast. We're a collection of YouTube and Twitch influencers. Though all influencers hate the term influencers, but it's basically what this world has decreed us to be known as. Yeah, I'm on the internet most of the time, so that's what I do.
Cool.
My name is Jodi, also known as Kwebbelkop. I make gaming Let's Play videos and pretty much whatever I want to do, mainly on YouTube, and I'm almost at 8 million subscribers.
Woo.
I'm Azzy. My channel is called Azzyland. I'm at almost 3 million subscribers, and I do a combination of everything on my channel: skits, gaming,
She's
reactions.
really funny.
So the way to show me up, guys. My name's Josh. I've got a combined following of 1.4 million subscribers. So thank you, Jodi, for putting me after those two. But, I do more comedy videos and some work with Comedy Central as well. And yeah.
Cool. Great, thanks. So why don't we just give a little brief background on how you got started? Like, what was that breaking enlightening moment when you wanted to break into YouTube, say this is a career, this is where I want to go?
Yeah, I mean, wow. So we started out making videos because we enjoyed making videos, and then YouTube came along after that. So it's quite a weird thing. So we started out, we've got our 10-year anniversary coming up this year, and it was really just an opportunity to try and make our friends laugh, and that kind of snowballed into the point where YouTube came along, other people could watch funny content. 2011 came along when we had like the most watched video on YouTube, and then that snowballed into 2012. We were the first UK channel to hit 1 billion views. And then, I mean, it took 4 years to get to that first billion, and then we got a second billion the year after. And it's kind of, you know, YouTube's just a crazy place. But we do it because we love it, and now really it's just become an excuse to not grow up. So we just try to keep on keeping on. You know, I spend my days hanging out with my friends playing computer games. So it's pretty much the best job there is. So yeah.
So I started around 6 years ago. I was watching videos on YouTube, probably this guy and some other people who were making videos back then. Yeah. I really enjoyed playing games, so I thought, why not just get a capture card and start recording? From there on, like, I told myself, let's go and make a video every day. So I did every day for the past 6 years. I haven't missed a single day. I started making videos, and then once it started taking off, I started building up a team, editors, people that made my thumbnails, channel managers, and now I have a pretty big team, all working on just one channel, and it's going great.
Yeah, you're doing what, 14 videos a week you said earlier?
Yeah. So 14 videos a week, so 2 per day, and in December I tried 3 per day, just for fun, to see how it would go. It wasn't fun.
Push your boundaries, eh?
I started 2 years ago. I actually was in school to become a doctor, and I started doing YouTube as a hobby. It was just for fun. And as it started blowing up, I realized that that was a different way I could help people. And I just became so in love with it. And yeah, here I am.
Awesome.
Yeah, I had a really weird introduction into YouTube. So I actually used to play semi-professional cricket. You guys know what cricket is, right? You're from Canada. Just checking. And I always loved entertaining people and used to make stupid videos when we were younger, as I'm sure a lot of people did, and I had a lot of friends who were involved in YouTube. And in 2015, I got glandular fever in the middle of a cricket season, and I was ruled out to not be able to play cricket for the rest of the season. So I started making more weird videos and then started uploading those weird videos, and some more weird people started watching those weird videos, and here I am. So yeah.
Wow. It's intense. It's such an interesting space, and it's just growing so quickly, and there's just so many different personalities coming in. In 2017, we saw a ton of controversy, and things have really turned, they've really turned.
Yeah, it was huge. It started out, obviously, big trend was anti-Semitism. That died off, and then it became filming dead people.
Right.
So, I mean, I couldn't tell you what's next, really, to be honest with you.
I was gonna
Filming
skate
dead
around it,
people
but-
was 2018.
Yeah. Oh, I guess.
Anyways,
yeah, well, there you
continue.
go. So, I can't keep up with it. It's just, it's always moving.
Yeah, it's moving really quickly. You do a lot with different actors on your channel. You were just adopted by Will Ferrell?
Yeah, I was. That was. Apparently, we look quite similar. So I don't know if that's a compliment or what, but yeah, I think that's one of the coolest things for me, that I've been given the opportunity to do that now, that I have an audience that I can make videos for, and now I get the opportunity to make videos with big actors and comedians alike, and that is just something that I never really thought I'd be able to do. So to be able to, I remember there was a moment in a video I did with Will Ferrell where he had like a genuine laugh at something I said, and I was just like, oh my God. That gave me like a really warm feeling inside, so that was really cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. It was hysterical to watch, just the whole dynamic with you guys. Yeah, Will has grown. So what do you guys think of 2017 and how it kind of came to a close? How extreme content is?
Well, obviously, I think most content on YouTube and all the other platforms are great. It's fun. I watch it every day when I wake up, when I go to bed. But obviously, sometimes you get these rotten apples, and then the media picks up. But like a lot. I assume a lot of people know that not every influencer is like them, which is what a lot of people still think, though, that everybody's now filming dead people, or everybody is making racist Nazi jokes. But it happens every now and then, and it's especially very annoying for us creators, which are doing a good job, that when one person doesn't do a good job, we get shot at, right?
Right.
I think it's also like a bit of a commentary on the times as well, in that we're living in a day and an age now where the kind of prospect of amnesty is not really something that exists anymore, because as a kid or a 12-year-old now, you could say something that is really not right, something racist or homophobic, and now when a kid says that, it's invariably on Instagram or on Facebook, and that's there now forever, and that will stick with them forever. Whereas when I was 11 years old, I said a bunch of stupid things to my friends or to anyone, but thank God I wasn't putting those things in writing. So I think it's a very exciting time, but a very dangerous time now as well, especially for children, because everything they're saying is on social media, and it's there forever. So when they get a job one day, or when they want to do whatever, those things will be dug up. So I think, for parents or for anyone who's sort of guiding children, I think that's something that's really, really important, because
that being said, obviously, it's proven now you can even become president having said some of those things. So don't get too worried out there.
Don't get too disheartened.
Exactly, because if it's done, so you can't really avoid that. Yeah, I think the frustrating thing this past year was demonetization, really. On the platform, the reason we can be up here doing this is because we have audiences. Those audiences see pre-roll and post-roll advertising. We make money from that. After the scandals, a lot of advertisers pulled out. YouTube had to rightly kind of tighten up the ship, and it meant that ad revenue dropped to all-time lows. So, people like ourselves who have built up kind of a sphere of staff and crew and companies around ourselves with fixed costs and things like that, found it a lot tougher than previously we would have. One of the strengths of the space originally was that it was very agile. You didn't have large overheads. You were a young creator just doing it for love, and then the money came along. And now we're a big business with costs and responsibilities,
Overhead, right.
so that when those things change, it can make for quite a tough year.
Right.
Yeah, we all have like employees, and we have to feed those employees too. So if the ad revenue drops, sometimes you have to cut people, and that's really shitty.
Yeah.
Yep.
So on your point of things slowing down, you're getting quite big this past year. You've blown up. You're number 12, biggest or fastest growing YouTuber in the world.
Not right now, but I was a couple months ago, yeah.
Yeah, past Logan.
Yeah.
That's great. Good job. So how do you have a really engaged community? Like you performed insanely for Fastlane. You know, there was one point I remember calling you and like, just pass Jelly on the leaderboards for installs, and your little shrieks and screams were just so rewarding.
Yeah.
So what do you specifically do? What's your secret sauce for keeping your community so engaged?
Well, I try to engage back with them. I try to obviously you can't talk and respond to everybody, but I try to pick out comments that I really like on every video, and I try to talk to them and just try to keep engaged with them on all my social medias, and I think they really appreciate that. And I guess I just try to keep it real, try to be myself, because people can always tell when you're being genuine and when you're not being genuine, and I think they appreciate that. Mm-hmm. And I think that's why my engagement is really high for my following.
Right.
Yeah.
Good job.
Yay.
And Kwebbel, you became a rapper this year?
Oh. Yes, I became a rapper, so pretty much, I'm a YouTuber, which means you can do anything stupid and make a video on it and upload it, and people will watch it. But pretty much what I did with some friends was we rented this place in New York. We planned to vlog and didn't really go as planned, and then we're like, so what do we do now? Well, obviously we need to start roasting each other. That'd be fun. Everybody's done it, so why don't we do it, right? And I kicked it off and caught the guys by surprise, and then they responded. It was great. The rap, I'm not a rapper. I'm really not good or anything. But it was definitely fun to do something completely different from what I usually do, gaming Let's Plays. And the fans loved it. The song's very catchy. And it was just fun. Yeah. It was just a joke. It was a rap roast video, roasting my friends.
Of his best friends. It was fantastic. Yeah. Cool. And so I saw that you had met up with, you had Hodor hold the door for you?
Yeah, Christian, he's a lovely guy. He is an actual giant. And so, off the back of Game of Thrones, obviously a spoiler for a few years ago, but get with it, Hodor died. But we learnt about him holding the door, where he got his name from. So we were at the cinema, and so I filmed a quick bit afterwards, asking him to hold the lift door. It went viral. Yeah. And it was one of those things you always expect, once you've got a concept, something like that, it was right time, right place. It was going to do well. I was surprised how well it did. Yeah. But again, it's one of the big things on YouTube is timing, and make sure that you hit those cultural points, quick. So I was just very lucky, really.
Cool. So what's the big highlight of 2017? Walking away from it, what was your highlight, you think?
Just in general?
Just in general. Give me a highlight.
Oh, that's tough. I really liked. I liked Christmas. Was very nice. It was good. I got everything I wanted. I think for us, we started doing more and more in live, so on Twitch. So really proud with the growth we've had on there and the numbers we're achieving there. That's really good. And more importantly, just the fun all of our creators are having. The great thing about Twitch is it's a live platform, and so the response and interaction is near real time. Right. And so that's fantastic. You crack a joke, and then you see the response there and then, as opposed to YouTube, where you hope as you scroll through the comments afterwards, because we're the most kind of shallow and kind of fragile people on the world. I'll read through a couple of pages of nice things. All right, nice thing. Oh, someone said something nasty. I'll dwell on that for a couple of days.
It's like because you had that insecurity, and then someone confirms it for you. Okay, it's not just me thinking that.
Everyone thinks it.
Am I really losing my hair? Oh no.
Yeah, exactly. Why did he bring up hair? It is. So Twitch is that times 10. So It's great to have that real response there. So I think, really pleased with that and really excited about what the future of that holds.
Excellent. Cool.
So what I really liked about 2017 were some crazy things. Obviously, I kind of thought it was great that the adpocalypse finally happened, mainly because it showed that there were still so many flaws on the platform, and it's something YouTube needed to start maturing. And it was going to happen either like the start of the year, end of the year, maybe next year, or it would have happened now, or start of January with that controversy. But it's a great wake-up call because a lot of influencers, they mainly think that their fame's going to last forever, their success is going to last forever, and they can just spend everything all the time on nice cars and this and that, right? But the adpocalypse really showed, like, listen, guys, this is still a young business, a young industry. Everything is new. Nobody's seen this before, an adpocalypse, right? Where the ad revenue, for everybody wondering, the ad revenue cut in half just like that overnight. So imagine what you're making right now and then cut in half, and your boss is not telling you why. That makes you like a little bit paranoid, and you're like, is it me? And you're trying to ask your boss, and your boss is ignoring you, and you're doing research, and everybody else has it too, and nobody knows what's going on. But it really makes you think, or made me think, like, okay, well, listen, like, what if it happens again and the revenue is cut in half again? Then it can be like danger for the company. So I started thinking of other things to branch out to. And obviously my most favorite thing last year, was being on a bus with Fastlane. Like, my face was on there, and Azzy's face was on there.
I didn't pay him to say that.
And we were partying on a bus. We were rave here in London, driving around. It was great. We got drunk on the bus too, but I'm not allowed to say that from Jodi.
Thanks, Jodi.
It definitely was a highlight. It was so much fun. Working with Fastlane was amazing. Also, for me, 2017 was great because I hit some like personal goals, a pretty consistent 100 million views a month, so that was really exciting for me. And I'm pretty new, so I don't have like that. Oh yeah, that's true. I hit 1 million subs this year.
And you ran naked through the streets of Amsterdam, right?
But not actually. It was fake.
Highlight. I feel like I should probably say something about YouTube, but I'm going to be honest. I got the chance to play in this, I don't know if you've heard of it, it's a football game called the Kwebbelkop by EE, and it's basically a bunch of YouTubers playing football against each other, and then there's sort of 3 professionals on each team, so there was like Steven Gerrard and Emil Heskey and a whole bunch of people playing, and like obviously sport was a huge part of my life growing up. And when I gave it up to pursue YouTube more full time, I was like, well, that's kind of that. You know, I'm never going to have that feeling of playing in sports in a stadium in front of people or anything like that. And then somehow, through doing YouTube, I managed to play at Wembley with Steven Gerrard. So that was, for me, just like the most surreal moment and a really, really cool sort of highlight for me. And I'm saying I'll remember for the rest of my life. So yeah, it was really cool.
Awesome. All right, let's talk a slight bit about brands. Okay, so like as a brand, how would we approach you? Or what would be the least intrusive way to get in touch with you?
It's tricky. I think a lot of us have kind of management agencies and people like that we work with, and so often it's kind of cleanest and easiest not to try and go direct to us, but to the brands that we work with, and then. With that, it comes down to, email is still great, but if you try and email, again, a lot of our talent, if you try to email them directly, you'll never hear from them. Yeah. They might read it, but they won't respond. Whereas if you go through kind of the management agency, so we use a company called Fourth Floor Creative. If you email them, they will handle all of that and then talk to us. So they kind of filter out stuff. And then hopefully as well, a lot of brands still don't really understand how important relevance is. So they'll come to someone and just be like, hey, you got big numbers, will you talk about this product? And the reality is it doesn't really matter about the numbers, it's about the relevance of the product to our audience. And we have lots of different creators with lots of different audiences. So again, going through those people just allows us to kind of filter and direct those requests to the right people.
Right.
So I think the best way to get in touch with me is obviously, well, if you see me walking around, you can approach me and talk a little bit, but don't expect me to talk too much business. The business is my managers. Obviously, they will go over all the numbers and what I can provide and things like that. And the best way to get in touch with them is either call them or email. and emails all over the place on YouTube, About section, or on Twitter, Instagram. There's always an email somewhere. But I've noticed over the years that one mistake brands tend to make is they assume that influencers will cover products for free, and maybe somebody will cover something for free if they have 10,000 subscribers, but when you're talking about a reach of millions or billions of views, then it's not going to be free anymore unless you can offer something really exclusive, like a private jet. If you got a private jet, I'll do it for free. But it's like a bus driver doesn't work for free either. You're gonna have to pay or at least compensate, but most of the time paying works, and that's just how it goes. You're making money from promotion, so it would be nice to share that with the creator, with the influencer.
Cool.
Yeah, to add on to that too, we also offer like really awesome, because it's a really awesome advertisement, because we can give you like the exact demographics and everything, targeted audience, and we get a lot more views than television, so it's a lot, I think, better place to put your money. And like Jodi said, the best place to reach me is my email. It's posted everywhere, my About section, Instagram, Twitter, and I have people who check my emails for me, so I don't miss anything. Yay.
Yeah, I mean, to get hold of me, Gleam Futures is who manages me, so like that. And I think in terms of working with brands, I'm quite sort of fortunate in the fact that with comedy, it's pretty like varied. So the type of videos I can make can kind of vary to many different things. So if I were to work with a brand, it's always really cool when they give me the opportunity to do something that I wouldn't really be able to do without sort of an outside help. And then it creates something unique for the brand and something unique for me, and it's obviously more beneficial than just plugging something, so to speak. So yeah.
Okay, you have a very mixed channel. I was looking through them. It's just amazing how many different games you've been able to pull off on your channel. It's really difficult to do.
Yeah, it's. I personally benefited from having an exposure through the main Yogscast channels, and I think if you're trying to break into YouTube and Twitch, being a single focus game is still the best way. It's the easiest way to find an audience, and off the back of that, hopefully kind of they fall in love with your personality and they stick around when you move away from the original thing that brought them to you. Like I said, I had an opportunity to kind of be featured through personality-driven content, so that then my audience is really just tuning in to see what I'm doing. But I wouldn't say my personal YouTube channel is nothing special. It's very much the Yogscast as a whole, I think, and with that, again, we do try to stay to kind of genres, and we put different genres on different channels.
Right.
So we have a Civilization channel that just plays the Civilization game.
Gotcha.
And that's a great ensemble with lots of different people. We have a channel called Games Night where we play board games and D&D and things like that. So we try to put things in the right box, and that's more so about YouTube's algorithm and how it feeds content out to subscribers and things like that, that you're again incentivized to be as kind of specific as you can, I guess, with your content.
Cool. Okay, let's look into the future here, put our little tinfoil hats on. What do you see coming up in influencer marketing trending in the next year? Anything jump out?
No, I haven't got a clue. In terms of, are you saying so? In terms of what do we think brands are going to want to be kind of seeing more of? I hope really it's the understanding that our audience likes us and our tone and our way of presenting content. So brands kind of letting go a bit is always welcome. We get a much, much better result the more freedom we have. And it's that sort of thing. If you've done your homework and you've found the right influencer to work with, the more you allow them to then do their job and make their content, that's what their audience enjoys. And that's how you're going to get the best results. Brands who get very sort of, oh, you can't say that, or don't mention the other product, you know, it's like, honestly, it doesn't really matter. Again, if you've done your homework, you should be partnering with someone who is going to be delivering content in the sort of way you want.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think brands should give the creators a lot more freedom, not too much, of course, and make sure to monitor it because some creators will mess it up. But at the end of the day, I know my audience the best, and if somebody's there who's probably not even seen a single video of mine giving me feedback of what I should do and what I should say, it's not going to work. A good example is sometimes I get a promo for my Instagram stories, and I know exactly what a good Instagram story is and how I can get people to click on that link or swipe up for the link. But meanwhile, this brand will approach me and say, no, I don't want you to do that. I want you to post this entire paragraph on your Instagram story, and it's like an entire book, and then people have to read that in the 10 seconds or pause it. Like, nobody's going to read it. They're just going to go to the next part. So really giving freedom to a certain degree is very important. It's also like sometimes brands will tell me what time to post a video, and I can show them with evidence, like, that's not when my channel's peaking. Like, I should post it when like my channel's most active, so that the video can get more views, because that's when people are watching my videos. So it's really important to give that freedom, and yeah, like you said, it's just better results if you do that.
Cool.
I don't have much to add. That's pretty much everything. We know exactly what our fans want. We know what time to post. We know what to say. We know how to sell a product to them without selling it, you know? But when it's like forced, they're not really sold on it.
Yeah, I think the way you can liken it is, I suppose when a brand's advertising, sometimes they're thinking about it in a more traditional sense. So if you're watching an advert on television, or you're watching television and an advert pops up, it's an advert, you know it's an advert, and it's like it's there to be an advert. Whereas when you're advertising through an influencer, you are now tapping into a character or a person, and then you're tapping into their audience. So it's got to be something that naturally integrates with them, rather than just your advert whacked in the middle, because if you do that, it's going to stick out. The audience isn't going to like it, the creator's probably not going to like it, and you're not going to get the same result or you're not going to get a good result basically from your advert. So I think it's just about communication and finding a sort of happy medium between brands and creators.
Yeah, and like I think as a brand you shouldn't worry too much about the little things. So if let's say I don't name the exact name from the product, like this monitor model 37 ABCD. It doesn't matter. Like the people aren't gonna be click less because you haven't pronounced the entire name correctly or things like that. Oh, and brands, like, I hope that well, you guys should do your research before approaching an influencer. Know the risks, because it's not always guaranteed to get a certain amount of views unless, like, you obviously negotiate that. But I've had brands which, really wanted to work together with me, and I did my best. And then afterwards, well, I really did my best, right? And then afterwards, they came back and they weren't happy. And I said, well, I did everything in my power to make it as successful as possible, but it didn't work. And I don't think that's my problem. I think that's their problem, because they organized the entire campaign. Right. But meanwhile, they're trying to push it on me. But like, for example, you can't make me dance. Like, I can't dance, then don't hire me to dance. And I get mad that I can't dance, right? Do your research. But if you pay me, I'll dance, sure.
Right. How do you see a successful campaign from an influencer's perspective? Like, when you do a campaign, how do you view it or measure it from your end?
The way we would any other video, really, just in terms of how many views, what was the general kind of sentiment. We get stats like, obviously, watch time, so we can see, did people actually watch the video, or did they click off after the first few seconds? We're looking for successful videos to be successful videos. So I don't know. I mean, with stuff like dancing and things like that, maybe I might be quite happy if I looked like I could dance. That'd be great. But I don't know. It's like having Genesis up here, isn't it? It's great. Right, there you go.
So the way I measure campaigns, like they're totally, like there are so many different ways, so many different campaigns possible. But the easiest one is you just look at the average audience retention on your video. If your channel averages 5 minutes and you make a promo on an amazing mobile game and realize the audience retention is only 1 minute, you know, either it's a horrible promo or your audience just doesn't like it, you probably shouldn't do it in the future.
Right.
And the same thing goes for views. If your views are like 100,000 views minimum per video, and you upload this promo and it only gets 20,000 views, like it doesn't work, and you should rethink it. Another way to measure like how well promo went is you know, how many clicks did the link get if you're pushing a link, or how many people showed up at the event if you're promoting an event. But most importantly, like how happy is the brand you're working with. If sometimes I do a promo and I'm like, I'm not really sure about it, and then I ask the brand and the brand is super happy with it, and they really want to do a follow-up promo, that's great, of course.
Yeah, basically everything he just said. If the brand's really happy, then you know the promo went well. Audience retention, you can see how long they watched the video and when they clicked off, when they lost interest, and just total views of the video.
Yeah, I think that's been covered.
Okay, cool. All right, I think we're running short on time, but thank you for all your info. Does anybody have any questions? Yes.
Do you need a mic? Oh, there you go.
Okay, yeah, it's a question on perhaps filming as well. Is this on? Right, thank you. Look, it's a question from me and my 11-year-old daughter, okay, who's got her own YouTube channel going. So she's trying to get to 10 million views. So I think she's got, or followers, sorry. I think she's got 9,999,099 to go.
Does she need advice? Clearly she needs advice.
No,
Well,
no, absolutely. No, so the question, yeah, you're right. So the question is it a legitimate career choice to be a YouTuber, and can she have some free careers advice?
Yeah, so
I can't give you a private jet for this
if
one.
I have to be honest, and this is...
Chanel, her name is.
There you go.
Hi, Chanel.
Hi. It's a very risky business. It's like becoming a professional athlete or like a musician. Like, it's hard. There's so much competition. If you don't work hard enough, you're not going to make it. Sometimes you'll work too hard, and that's why you can't make it. But if you need some advice, I'd say make a video every day, work on it. You don't even have to post them, or you actually should post them and accept the feedback, but just work on it every day, and after a few years, you're going to be really good at it, and at that point in time, you're probably grown up, and then you can decide if you want to continue this or if you want to continue your school, but you should definitely continue your school.
Yeah, I was gonna say you definitely need a backup plan. It's definitely possible, but you don't want to just want to do YouTube. Like, you want to have a plan B in case it doesn't work out, because you never know.
Yeah, I mean, they've got us four up here. If they got everyone up here who had a channel, wanted to do it, but doesn't do it as a job, we'd need a much bigger stage. It's really, 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 really hard. And no matter how good you are and how hard you work, there is a component of luck. So it's no guarantee that you will be able to do it. The reason to do it should be because you love to, and if I said, no, you're not allowed to do it anymore, you would still do it. So if you're doing it, keep doing it, and hopefully you keep enjoying it.
That's what my mom said.
Yeah, and we did it,
Like,
we kept doing it.
Jodi, stop screaming,
Yeah.
it's 2 a.m.
Exactly.
Shut up, Mom, I'm making videos.
Exactly.
I'm gonna be famous.
And who's laughing now?
Now she works for me.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, you got to just give it everything you got. As these guys wouldn't go, okay, I'm going to start a YouTube channel and that's going to be my career. Give it your best shot. I don't know, I'm torn in two minds as well, because there's also a saying if you have a backup plan, your original plan will never work. So I don't know, I'm conflicted, but you go for it and see what happens.
What I did is it was a hobby for me. So it was like, I think when it's a hobby, it's more of a passion and you're more passion driven. But when you're like driven by money, I don't know if that works as well.
or private jets.
There is no money. There's no money left anymore. Not when you're grown up. Apocalypse number 5 would have hit by now.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, great.
One more question?
We actually are late, but
Good.
we can do
One more question. Jodi, you be.
The gentleman in the back, sorry.
What percentage of your earnings are non-mercenary?
I'd say the majority. Yeah.
So, like 10% is to be paid for, and the rest of it is just what?
Yeah, I'd say, well, it varies. We've got lots of different revenue streams. So you've got merchandise, you've got pre-roll advertising, you've got integrated brands, which I guess is what you're calling mercenary. So depends. It really depends on the channel. I wouldn't say there's like a fixed number, but it can be anywhere from sort of up to a quarter, I would say, for some creators.
So and you find that stuff yourself?
Well, yeah, through an agency and stuff like that, or
Yeah, so-
inbound and stuff like that.
But not you personally yourself. You don't go looking for, like when you started out, that was just
No,
out of your own
exactly.
curiosity.
When you're starting out, you're making content, you're
Yeah.
making videos, you're building a brand, and you're building a following.
Yeah.
And then it's once you have that following that people come to you
jump.
trying to monetize said following for their products.
Yeah. Cool.
So I didn't do a brand deal till 1 million subscribers, I believe, which is pretty late. But back in the day, it was really hard to work together with brands like that. But currently, like I've had months where 50% of my revenue came from brand deals. But then I've also had months where it's absolutely nothing. So it really depends. Sometimes you get this 1 month where all the brand deals happen at the same time, and then the next month, like in December, there's absolutely nothing. But then in January, everybody wakes up again.
So you'll never see something you off your own back and say, "Oh, that's an interesting subject. I'm going to do that." You're just
Of course.
completely full of.
No. So I work together with an agency, and if I have something very interesting I want to showcase in a video, like a new television, I will let my agent know, and then he'll try to reach out to the brand and be like, "Hey, maybe we can work together."